ladies and gentlemen, let's just talk about the aftermath of this Larson interview. Most people remember my Kings Royal video where I praised Kyle Larson for announcing the series and kind of didn't necessarily like that the entity of the World of Outlaws is handling it how they're handling it. So on the outside, when this High Limit Open was announced, I wanted to know why. Because even in the interview, he's talking about being, working together and everybody get along. And I think that High Limit Open date was a big deterrent to one of the best races that wasn't getting huge car counts. I think it was 33 last year in the Jackson Nationals. That has a very good payout, $50,000 to win. All of us know in the regular dirt world that a lot of 410 teams are PA, Ohio from that direction. But then this date came along that is on the road back home. And I didn't like that date. And a guy actually just commented, because it's the Facebook is hilarious. I said, apparently to ask why that race was scheduled is stirring the pot. This man, who's a promoter of a series, by the way, deals with this stuff all the time, says, nope, just good journalism, Chaz. Your job is to ask tough questions and to help drive accountability. And that's true. I have questions, I have thoughts, and to ask the tough questions, you can't be scared. And what happens with a lot of people when they pull up a phone or any kind of interviewing device to Kyle Larson? Will you please like me? Please, thank you, please. And his answer's, vanilla, like all these answers are. Yeah, I like you, cool, can you at least add me on Facebook? That's not what they're saying, but that's what they're doing in the vanilla-based questions. They're not talking about the sport. They're just trying to be a fan. And that's fine. There's a lot of fans out there. But journalism ain't fans. If journalists were just fans, probably would have never left the UK and monarchy to begin with. But at the end of the day, if anybody's stirring the pot, the first thing to come out that's stirring potish in that whole interview is when Larson's talking about t-shirt sales with the late model groups and all that.
You can sell t-shirts at every event, whether you're a World Outlaw guy, a Lucas Oil guy, whatever. So,
like, who is he talking? What pot is he stirring? And maybe he's trying to say I'm stirring the pot because he knows that this high limit series in general is stirring the big damn pot in the sprint car racing industry. That's happening. Now, for you NASCAR people who have never watched what I'm talking about or don't know anything, you have no clue what we're even talking about. That's why the freaking Essential Sports dude called it the High Life series or some shit. These people are clueless. They have no idea what I'm even talking about. But for the people who are in the business or in the fandom or in the know or in seeing all these things happening, there's a lot of shit being stirred up over this series that's coming. A lot. As much as y'all just promoted it to NASCAR or whatever, your mainstream entities, it's Kyle Larson's great new series. You don't know what's going on here. Now, in my opinion, work together is what the sprint car industry needs to do. Now, obviously, the World of Outlaws brand, visually, apparently, it looks like, is based on the success of the World of Outlaws sprint car series. It's their bread and butter, an industry that they have on lock due to how they have contracted drivers, which this is not just like, unheard of. This is what happens in the industries that progress in time. Now, what I think a bigger problem in the racing industry, especially in management that we have, is we have a bunch of bosses instead of leaders. We have a bunch of people in these positions who have gained their success on growing this or growing that, and all these other entities are based on boss situations. Regular corporate world is based on a boss situation, but this is an entertainment kind of thing, and you got to be a leader as well. Especially when the people that are behind you, not below you, are looking over at the late model industry, making all the money that they're making it, and they're seeing, oh, how are they making that? Oh, well, there's not one series out there that controls the drivers. The drivers go and race wherever they want. That's the narrative, correct?
The way I look at it is the World Outlaw late model guys, they're allowed to go do whatever they want. Lucas Oil late model guys are allowed to do
late model industry in
want.
general.
Yeah,
Oh, the two series just cut their schedules in half. It ain't the World Outlaw Sprint Car Series that is occasionally 90 races a year. The late model schedule sliced in half, 35 to 40 per national division. And then you have one-off events, big events, World 100s, and all this stuff. And then you have the XR Series. Because of the market that is open and free, they could come in and just throw money out too and get the same stars and same cars. Flow Racing Night in America that he referenced, that's what they do as well.
I've gotten the chance to do a lot of the Flow late model night America races, and everyone I go to, the crowd's huge, and I know the viewing on the streaming is really big as well. So
just throw the money and get the honeys. Now, this race at Lincoln Park, I think is wrong. I wanted to know why it was made, and I asked the question. An interviewer or a journalist ain't supposed to be just an agree machine. I don't know who taught y'all this. And I asked the question. I don't think it's smart, so why did you do it? He doesn't have to get all upset just because I think it's wrong. Hold on, does everyone have to agree with him? Or he doesn't like you if you don't agree with him? You can't think it's a bad scheduled deal? At the end of the day, what I think should happen is we need some more leadership in the world of racing, period. I mean, they need that in other industries for sure, but especially in the sprint car industry right now. You know, there's some guys who want to go run for this money that Kyle's offering next year, and they should be able to, because that's how you're supposed to lead people. You make them feel like their opinions and their wants are a part of your agenda. A boss says, I know better than you. No, I own you. You're my property. I think it's a big mistake. And we need to not think we could do exactly what the late model industry is doing, because we don't have as many cars as them. And honestly, the reason we don't have as many cars as them is because it makes no logical sense to even own a car, because the money isn't right. I was at Cedar Lake when you were tossing this and tossing that, throwing that down. You know, I'm seeing the fans throw the money down, and Brock Zerfoss walks out with a $10,000 check. This is insane. We all see where it's being made. And some of us see where it's going out. It ain't just all income, you know. There's gross and net, you know. I mean, we're not all this stupid here. There's a lot of smart people in this racing world as well, because of how much money it takes to even have a race team or a race car. So they're not stupid either. And when you try to boss smart people around, that's when they go and fight for someone else. But if you lead smart people, then you can have a very strong army. Anyways, there's a lot of things to think about, a lot of things to process in this situation, because the whole entire sprint car racing industry can look completely different if some bosses don't start turning into leaders real quick. If you hate me for not holding the camera up and saying, Kyle, please like me, I'm sorry. I didn't know y'all were like that. I thought y'all had some cojones to like ask questions on topics that aren't just please like me questions.
But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove.